What's cracking, everybody? Let me try this again. It's my second time trying to record this video. Got interrupted, and we're gonna try again. Okay, this is gonna be a YA story. It's gonna be different than anything I've told before. Strange thing, but this is a story about a young brother that was in YA with me, and this guy was not a Crip, not a Blood, wasn't from the Bay Area. He was, if you would have closed your eyes and heard him talk, you would have swore it was a white dude, but it was a little brother, right? And this guy was raised obviously around white people and around money, and we'll get to this in a second, right? But for somebody who had the type of background that he had, what always stood out to me was that he wasn't afraid. He just wasn't. He would do his time. He'd stay out of people's way, but he loved fucking with the cops. He loved messing with the cops. And those of you that remember the video I did a while back, maybe a year or so ago, maybe more, about, it was another YA story, and it was about a cop, a counselor in my unit in the Pomo. This is the same unit this time too, but he had little informants, right? He had an informant that was a brother, and he had one that was a Mexican, right? And he was mad at the Mexican one. I guess he didn't give him good information, or I don't know what the hell it was. And one morning, he forced all of us out into the yard early in the morning. We're freezing, and he announced that the dress code was going to be t-shirts and shorts, so we would be out there freezing. And we all went out there. And he waited till everyone was out there. You guys can watch the video. Anyways, long story short, he filled up a trash can full of ice, then water. Then he called over the little informant that he had, the little Mexican dude, little tiny dude, man. Picked him up and threw him in the trash can upside down, basically to let him die in front of the whole unit. And it was a black dude. This is a trip, watch. It's a black dude from Avalon. Ran over there and pulled the dude out. Basically saved his life because nobody else was gonna save him. And now, same cop. I don't remember how long after that crazy incident, this cop was a maniac, man. Last time I told that story, that last story, there was a counselor that got in the comments. So if you look, you'll see his name's in the comment section. But anyways, getting back to, we're gonna call this guy DM. Not the cop, but the brother, right? He was always antagonizing that crazy cop and just all the cops. He didn't care. He was from a background where he was just, it was weird, man. But I think that was his way of showing people, like, I'm not afraid. And his way was, instead of fighting people, I'll just antagonize the cops. But the thing was, is that DM had a foul case, right? He was in YA for allegedly for a rape case, right? And that was another reason why nobody really ever fucking, nobody hung out with him, nobody kicked it with him. He was basically a loner. Well, I don't know what he did, right? But one day we all went out to the yard. It was lunchtime, so the whole unit has to be out there in the yard, and they would leave the day room door open so you can, throw your little sandwiches in the microwave, whatever. But everybody's outside eating. And that crazy cop called the same guy, the brother from Avalon, called him to the side, whispered something to him, handed him a bag. The guy opened the bag, pulled out something, looked at it, put it back in, handed it off to his homie. And he went over to DM and just started beating him down. DM was about to parole. So he started beating him down. Boom, 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 boom. And the psycho cop walked over there slow, and he started spraying DM, right? He just like got the guy from Avalon away from him. And then when DM was trying to, like, he was telling him, like, you're a fucking bitch, because he knew, the cop had paid that dude to get him before he could go home. And he spit all over the cop's face, blood all over his face. And I remember the cop went from spraying this way, he reached out, grabbed DM and yanked him towards him and moved the can this way and straight into his face and just went to town, right? Again, nobody's gonna help the guy. He had a bad case, right? So everybody's just looking like, this fucking Huda's crazy. That's all you heard people saying. This fucking Huda's psycho. This motherfucker is crazy as fuck. He beat him down. He broke the guy's jaw and everything, and then charged him with assault, right? So instead of being able to go home, he got a case filed on him, and then he got thrown in Cambria, which is Paso Robles' version of the SHU, right? Instead of SHU is IWP, an Incorrigible Ward Program. So not long after that, I wound up catching my SHU and you know, I went to Cambria, and I'm back there with him, you know. And one thing about DM is he was hilarious, right? Like, regardless of whatever, like, you couldn't help, you didn't want him to see you laughing at the stupid shit he would say, but you would laugh inside, right? But in the little SHU program, it's seldom, and this guy created, he created a talk show, right? A tier talk show, let's clear that up. And every night, around 9 o'clock, after the Hudas would walk, he used to do this noise like it was the Tonight Show. And he would go, da, 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 da. And there could be dudes talking on the tier loud as hell, and as soon as they heard da, 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 hey, be quiet, be quiet. And he would do the whole little song, and then he would say, welcome to the, and then we'll say DM show, right? If somebody had gotten a fight that day, that guy that lost, DM was gonna roast him. If a CO, like the cops did something, like he studied the whole day, and every day would put together a fucking show and crack everybody up, right? So it was the night before he was gonna get moved from our little Cambria, our little SHU, to the San Luis Obispo County Jail. He did the show, and it's gonna be the final show, right? And he said tonight's show is not gonna be all jokes. Tonight's show is gonna be an answer to everybody's question. And he broke down, he actually passed down the tier different Hollywood chicks that were writing him. One of them, the one I remember, was the sister from Saved by the Bell. That was one of his childhood friends, and she would write him all the time. He showed the letters to us, and he's passing them down, and people were like, "What the fuck?" And it was different Hollywood people that were writing to him, right? And it turned out that he was the child of I guess there were producers. I don't know, executive. I don't know what kind of producers, but he was from a Hollywood family, a well-to-do family. And what happened was he started secretly dating a white girl. And one day they were having sex. It was his girlfriend. They were having sex, and her father showed up. And it turned into, we're not having this. This is what happened, and this is what we're gonna say. And is it true or not? I don't know. But the way he broke it down was such a trip, man. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I don't know why I decided to tell this story. I guess I was just trying to think, you know, let me get away from the YouTube stuff right now and think about something that was pretty wild from the past. And I don't know what wound up happening to the guy. Like I said, the cop broke his jaw, got him charged. I think it broke his teeth up. But it was such a trip to have encountered, because like I've told you guys, YA was an extremely violent, ruthless place. It was where monsters were made. I truly believe that. I believe that was one of the worst. I always say that when I talk about YA. I believe that was one of the worst experiments that was ever made in our country. I think the politicians that were behind that should have a guilty conscience over the things that went down in there. There were a lot of killings. There was a lot of suicides. There were people that were made into punks. And a lot of people that were made into killers got out and victimized the communities. But, you know, I just wanted to share that story where it was a trip to have in the middle of all that ugly, this weird ass kid, man, that you knew there was no way he was a criminal, you know, and it all made sense when he told that story that night, where it was just like, just had a girlfriend, man, you know, and she just happened to be a different color than me. And, you know, I paid a price, got his jaw broke, his teeth knocked out. Who knows what else happened to him, you know, while he was in YA. But, just figured I'd share that story with you again. I'm not defending him or his victim. I don't know what happened. I just know in seeing how he conducted himself, he did not have a criminal mind. He just had a mischievous mind to mess with the authorities. After what he went through, kind of made sense though, right? So with that, I'll bring this one to a close. Everybody be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them, right? I'm out.